Years ago, I worked in a trailer factory, and at home, I'd accused, in front of my family, I'd accused, it was mainly senior management of being gay. There was one or two lads, but the lads had a right laugh. But my mother had just had an heart attack when I was at college, and got hold of the wrong end of the stick, and I got into a right state. I'm not sure, I can't remember if I thought they were all members of the IRA, and there's only 300 of them, so I didn't have to worry about much. Because that's the thing, I have relatives in the north and south of Ireland, so it don't matter. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know that then, but yeah, I got in a bit of a flap, really. But yeah, I mean, it was just the lads having a laugh because, well, that's the thing. They'd think it was hilarious that accused a load of the senior management of being gay. Well, probably were. And yeah, I mean, what was the thing about after that? I don't know. But yeah, my mother had a heart attack, so well, I went to Coventry and I thought, no, I don't like this place. There was young lads racing stolen cars up and down the street, right in front of the house. And there's a real goods line down the back. So I thought, no, no. And it would be October, and I had a really bad cold within 3 days. So I thought, yeah. And when I got there, I thought, saw the cathedral. I thought, and then generally the whole town thought, place looks like a bomb city. It's a bit like my house is at the moment inside here. But yeah, my dad's car. Well, I don't know who's doing it, but I'm pretty certain they have something to operate the central locking. So yeah, I mean, it was only going to be a half-day job, but I'm pretty certain someone has put a cylinder head bolt back in. I couldn't understand why the cylinder head wouldn't come off. I took it out. I bought a second-hand cylinder head and crankshaft for it because the crankshaft, I'm not sure. I think it was just a cam bucket that was ticking. But I put the crankshaft in and everything while I had it out. And I think some comedian borrowed the starter motor spacer off that goes between the engine and the start motor, and they won't turn without that in because it came back like that. And Dad had blown the engine. I thought, well, it must work without me. I just have to keep the water out of the clutch, but I don't know. When I stripped the engine down, there's no way it could have exploded like that because one of the parts, it was a centrifugal force that makes it explode, and one of the parts had gone around a right angle. It had gone instead of the shaft was going that way, the part had gone that way and then that way. It wouldn't happen. It's as if somebody had sort of mixed the parts of two engines up and put it all back in. It did take a while to recover it, but I don't know. It's just bizarre. But yeah, I mean, I took the engine out because it wouldn't turn. I put it in the boot. The boot leaks, and now that engine, it was as good as new. It's completely trashed. It's so all rusty. You can't run them like that. I had a spare one. What was it? They come down in price because when that engine, Dad blew that engine, they were wanting £600 for one, or 650 for one that had done over 100,000 miles. It's not worth it. Now you can get one for what the one that I have now is it 99k, £300. But I put that in, and it was all ready to go for the MOT. I went out to it the next morning. It wouldn't start. Now I don't know who's doing this, but I'm pretty certain someone's messing about with it. So I took that out. I was going to take it out, and I had it halfway out, and I thought it's coming out. I've got the gearbox out now, and I took the dashboard out, and I just took the whole central locking electronic control unit out. So if they have got something that opens it, they won't be able to. But since then, I've taken the doors off, the bonnet and the back axle, the front subframes off as well. But the back axle, the doors and the bonnet were behind my house. They've all been nicked. Well, I'd said about making it sort of rear wheel drive, and I don't know whether they've nicked the doors and the bonnet. Well, I'm aware of them, and they're very heavy. I don't know who's responsible for it, but that's the thing. It doesn't matter because I can make my own suspension. We used to do that on the rally cars because, yeah, I worked on Cosworth Sierras, and the thing was, there was only Cosworth Sierra road springs and shock absorbers. They had to make their own McPherson struts for them. They're not a very good design, at McPherson struts, because the centre of roll migrates down as the car rolls, so it rolls even worse. They're just a cheap design that the man called McPherson and an engineer at Ford came up with. Oh, Ford named it after him, and they patented it, and they got all the money. He got his name on it, and it's not a very good one anyway. It's on most cars now because the patents run out, and they put it on them all because it's cheap and easy to make. But it's not on sports cars because it's no good. But yeah, I mean, that what they used to do is to make their own struts so they could put there were sort of generic shock absorbers and springs with their own type, so they could vary the ratings of them because it was no good running a standard road car on forest tracks and that on standard springs and shock absorbers. It didn't work. And I went to a testing session with them to do that, and I spent all the day changing my shock absorbers. And I burnt my hand on one because we got the ratings wrong, and they said they'll actually explode if they get too hot because the springs don't do all the work, and the shock absorber's doing it, overheats them. But at the end of the day, the chief mechanic said, "Oh, lads worked hard. Give him a ride around the track." And I got 2 rides around the track. It was only like the lad who was driving. He won a competition to drive for I think it was for a year in international competitions, and he won his class in the RAC rally. And yeah, it was great fun. We were only doing about 150 down a forest track. It was just like a proper forest stage, and that was the thing. It was a bit mad. They'd regraded the track, the forest track, and we dug 6 foot deep ruts into it around the corners. Didn't seem to think about that, but we thought it was a bit mad. But right, yeah. And what was I talking about? I've forgotten. My dad's car. Yeah, it will go. I'll sort it out somehow. And if not, I'll just. I'm messing about with electric bikes because the batteries, yeah, they're good. You can get 50 miles out of charge, fully built up one, 50 miles out of them. But I thought, well, if you can get the voltage right, put a car alternator on the tyre, get the voltage right, it'll power itself. You might have to pedal start it, but once it's going, if you can get the alternator going fast enough, it'll power itself. I've got stuff that'll do that, the transformers and stuff that'll do it. I just have to rig that up, and I'm a bit tired because I've been on with the car for 18 months. Because, yeah, I've done, what is it? Because of all this stupidity, I've done 4 engine swaps, I think it is, and 3 gearbox swaps in about 18 months. It should have been a 5-hour job to swap the cylinder head. But because some goon thought, oh, it'd be funny to put a bolt back in and see what he does, yeah, but it's gone badly wrong. I've tried to electrify it. I got a battery, a motor, and all the stuff to do it. Yeah, I downloaded all the software for a generic control unit that somebody kindly sold me for second-hand for half price. It's a new one, but oh yeah, they've wiped the flipping hard drive, so I've lost all my software. I've even lost a photograph of my nana's grave view. I had to cycle 10 miles to get that. I was going to do that the other day, but I forgot my phone. Yeah, but what was it, 5 hours the other day? It's just, that's normal for me now. Last time, it was the same bike. I'd cycled for 4.5 hours, and I got there and had fish and chips, and then I went to see my nana's grave. Wasn't anything funny about me on it. Was it some strange sort of colour? Only Rose wear that colour, don't they? I don't know. I think I got the colour wrong. I don't know, but yeah, I was in a week of having nana's grave, but she would have understood what was. Well, I was like that, fed up with it all. And then I thought, I'll come back the short way over the moors, and it's like up and down the local fault plane. The Tour de France came here, and I was a bit disgusted. They half of them retired on the steep hill. Well, they told me not to do it anymore. I got an electrified bike now because my knees won't take it. But yeah, I mean, you must have gone up and down the same hill 5 times. The last time I seriously did it, I lost 5 pounds in sweat. And then, they're trained cyclists, so I'm just an amateur. But yeah, when I worked at stacking sacks and that, I'd lose that in a couple of hours. Because, I mean, I was stacking sacks in a dairy. People say, oh, it'd be cold. No, I was stood next to the boiler house, working next to the boiler house. The boiler wasn't to heat it, it just dried the powder, 5 tons an hour, and the cooling fan was blowing directly onto me. I mean, what was after about 3/4 of an hour, all my clothes were stuck to me with sweat. Even I had heavy denim jeans, they were stuck to me, glistening with the sweat, and that was normal. But yeah, I mean, I don't think much to them. They're trained cyclists. They should be able to do that in places like the Sahara and America and that, where it is hot. This is a temperate climate. What they're whinging about. I wasn't very impressed with that, but anyway, I probably owe myself now. I said too much, but it doesn't matter, right?